All right, tensions are running high on Capitol Hill with the Patriot Act set to expire next week, and the 2016 candidates are taking sides.
This debate that we're having right now about the Patriot Act and whether we should have strong intelligence around the world is a very dangerous debate because it's being done by people who have no experience dealing with what I've dealt with.
Well, Senator Rand Paul thinks Governor Christie is wrong. He's taking a stand against renewing the Patriot Act literally for 11 hours on the Senate floor last week. It's also the title of his book, Taking a Stand, Moving Beyond Partisan Politics to Unite America. We are joined now by Senator Rand Paul. Thank you for being with us. I'd like to first get your reaction to Chris Christie saying you're basically a misguided ideologue with no world experience in fighting terror.
You know, that just wasn't very nice of him to put it that way. I wouldn't put it that way. I would say that I'm a defender of the Bill of Rights and also someone who defends the spirit of the framers of the Constitution. We fought the revolution. John Adams said the revolution was sparked by the fight for the right to privacy, the right to have your papers left alone unless a judge signs a warrant with your name on it. When you have a single warrant that has the name Verizon on it and you collect hundreds of millions of records from one warrant, I think that's the definition of a generalized warrant, and I think goes against the spirit of the Fourth Amendment.
But, Senator, doesn't Verizon have those records? Doesn't AT&T have those records already? And has there been any abuse that you know of coming forward with the NSA?
The debate is not over whether they have them. The debate is over whether or not you still have a privacy interest in it. You know, we sign agreements all the time with internet service providers, and it says they agree not to divulge your information. The telephone company is supposed to protect your privacy and not divulge that information. I agree with you that there's not a lot of public evidence that they have abused the system. However, what I would say the abuse of the Fourth Amendment is the actual bulk collection of all of your records. There's the potential for abuse, and we've done it in the past. We did it to the Japanese Americans in World War II. We did it to civil rights protesters during the 60s and to Vietnam War protesters. We just sort of grabbed them up and started looking at behavior we didn't like. So the right to dissent in a free country is very important, and some say that this is has a chilling effect on the right to dissent.
And I know when we served together, we talked about this at great length, and we both voted on the Patriot Act extension. We had different votes in that situation. And I know what started out as a credible program has basically turned creepy now in many people's minds. What will prevent, do you think, the president just doing as he's been doing for quite a while now, using his pen and a phone to change the law to his liking?
Well, there is a big debate over this because people have been talking about the Patriot Act, but there's also an executive order. It's called 12333, and he's using that, we think, to collect other information that's not public. So really, we think that there may be programs for text messages, credit card information, emails that are not included under the Patriot Act.
Senator, we got to stay safe. And if the NSA people are sincere in saying, I need to be able to do this to find threads that lead us to the attacker before they attack, why do you feel as though you're better equipped to fight that?
I had breakfast with the former head of the NSA not too long ago, and I asked him, can you get more information with a traditional warrant with a person's name on it or with the metadata collection? He says, absolutely, you get more information with a warrant. I'm not asking for no collection of records.
But it takes too long.
No, it doesn't. You can have a judge can do a warrant anytime.
But they say it takes too long.
Well, but they're arguing for something that's an easier way out. Here's what happens in New York City. If someone is thought to be a rapist or a murderer and it's 3 in the morning, the police show up at their doorstep and they call the judge at 3 in the morning.
Than trying someone in Yemen, Pakistan.
What about the information that's
we should do the same thing here. We should do the same thing with terrorism. You can have judges on call 24 hours a day.
So you want to slow down the NSA?
What I want to do is not have bulk collection of all Americans' records because that goes against the Fourth Amendment.
And it was meant for foreigners to identify people who were here to change our way of life and hurt us.
What happens if they're radicalized here?
Do you believe that that information that has already been obtained and collected should be used?
I think it should be purged. I think that information was collected illegally and should be purged.
Let me mention your book, Rand Paul, Taking a Stand, Moving Beyond Partisan Politics to Unite America. He's got a book here, and why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I talk about a lot of issues that I think would make the Republican Party bigger. I tell people we got to have a party that has people with ponytails, people with tattoos, people in working clothes. But I think we also need a more diverse party racially, and so I talk about criminal justice a lot, that I think the war on drugs has had an unfair and disproportionate impact on African Americans, and I think we can do a better job.
I love that you're doing that. I think it's so important to get these parties out of their lanes.
Yep, good to see you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hard work out there. Thank you, Senator.